Good evening. Hi. I never thought of becoming a cop. In fact, I was never meant to be a cop. After 5 years of writing my PhD dissertation on Paradise Lost by John Milton, and after finally receiving my doctoral degree from the University of Notre Dame in 2023, I was on the right track to becoming a tenured professor at a university or a small liberal arts college. Obviously, that didn't happen. Instead of becoming a professor, I decided to go into law enforcement and applied for a full-time police officer position with the Burlington Police Department. Yes, I went from reading and reciting Shakespeare and Milton and teaching college students the importance of classical rhetoric like Cicero. I know he's going to send that photo to my advisor, Steve Fallon, right? Yes. To memorizing Vermont statutes, Title 13 and Title 23. Motor vehicle law, very important. Oh, the places you'll go indeed. Thanks, Dr. Seuss, for your wisdom. I never thought of becoming a cop, but in retrospect, I was, in a lot of ways, meant to be a cop. Bless you. I wanted to study literature, philosophy, and Greco-Roman classics because I wanted to live a good life. I thought these disciplines would help me find the answer, and the path I took led me there indeed. I spent 12 years studying Renaissance English literature in, by pure chance, 2 different Catholic universities for my BA, MA, and PhD. Catholic values and its mission taught me that a good life is a meaningful life, and that a meaningful life is a life spent serving others. And Chief John Murad of the Burlington Police Department promised me one thing in our first encounter: a meaningful career. So I bought it. Upon graduation, I found myself in a non-existent job market. Ashley, my wife, has always wanted to live in Vermont, and the Burlington Police Department was obviously hiring. The pay was decent, the benefits were good, and the BPD seemed serious about police reform and building back better. After thinking about this option for 4 long months, and it was a hard decision, I submitted my application in December. Now I am currently 10 weeks into a 17-week training program at the Vermont Police Academy, learning the intricate ways in which criminal law, motor vehicle law, communication, compassion, respect, and the will to serve others all converge when you show up to a call for service. As a recruit at the Vermont Police Academy, I hear many stories, but one particular story resonates with me. The first day in the academy, back in August, we had a class called The Core Values of Policing. The instructor was going over the importance of officer wellness and death by PowerPoint all week. And as many cops do, he slid straight into a storyteller mode, because cops love telling stories. I swear. And for the first time, I understood the stakes and the weight of showing up as a police officer. It was an accident, a horrible crash involving 2 vehicles. It was on a limited access highway, meaning cars were going over 50 miles per hour. By the time he showed up to the scene, the mother showed no signs of life, but her 6-year-old daughter was gasping for life. He took her into his arms and fought for her life with her. He tried to keep her awake, but she kept going in and out of consciousness. He fought until EMS arrived and took over. Later he would learn the little girl did not make it. He was crying as he was telling us his story. This happened years ago, but he was back at that scene again for the 100th time. At the time of the incident, he later told us, his granddaughter was of the little girl's age. And as he was telling us his story, I was crying too. I'm about to cry now. I have a 5-year-old boy. I learned the first day that there will always be risks in showing up as a cop, one way or another. Cops expose themselves to mental and physical trauma and even death. But despite those risks, we show up no matter what, because that is the expectation of the community we serve, and just as importantly, because showing up can also be highly rewarding. We learn from numerous instructors that we can't blame ourselves for what is out of our control, because once we start doing that, there's no turning back. What we can do, however, is that we show up and provide the best service we can for every single call. You do not call 911 because you're having the best day of your life. You call 911 because you're having one of the worst days of your life. And we, as cops, have the opportunity to make everyone's day a little bit better. And that is rewarding. And that is meaningful. Let me share another story with you. Another instructor at the academy told us how an elderly woman used to call 911 every week because she locked herself out with her keys in the house. He had to climb through the kitchen window, and he emphasized it was a very small window. And he's a very bulky man. He had to climb through the kitchen window every single time to get the keys. But just as he was getting frustrated with responding to the same call every week, understandably, since he had to climb through a small window that barely fit him, he realized that the elderly woman was using those calls as an excuse to talk to someone. That someone was our instructor, someone to talk to, someone to look forward to seeing every week. Cops show up, and when they do, they wear many hats. No, they have to wear many hats. Cops are most often, if not always, the first to show up and respond to a scene. This means that we have to be prepared for anything. Sometimes they have to be a counselor and talk suicidal individuals out of their dark thoughts. Sometimes they have to render medical aid until EMS arrives. First aid that could save lives. Sometimes a parent to a delinquent juvenile, a negotiator in a hostage situation, a friend to one going through a mental crisis, a talking companion to a lonely elderly woman. I am nearly done. But I do have to share these words of wisdom that led me here before I finish. As a literary person, I have to quote Henry David Thoreau in Walden. And he writes, I quote, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discovered that I had not lived. I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. Nor did I wish to practice resignation unless it was quite necessary. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life, to live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life, to cut a broad swath and shave close, to drive life into a corner and reduce it to its lowest terms. I went to study for my PhD because I wanted to learn the essential facts of life, and I did. But I showed up to the Burlington Police Department and the Vermont Police Academy to pursue a deliberate and meaningful life. A life worth living. To not, when I come to die, discover that I had not lived. To pursue a career where you can make a difference just by showing up. Now that is a meaningful career." I have one more paragraph. See that yellow card. So, it is our duty as law enforcement officers to always be there, just to be there. And when we receive a call for service, no matter what call it is, we show up. And we do whatever we can to make the day a little bit better. All with the hope that we will perhaps show up to a better world, a better city, a better community, a better Burlington, one call at a time. Thank you.